Welcome back to class, everyone. In this session, we are going to read together unit references. We will start from unit 1. Let's take our time to read together, slowly paced, so the principles will get absorbed in our brain nicely. And then after that, we can do some exercise together. The tag questions. Use tag questions in speech and informal writing to check information or ask for agreement. It is also used in the writing to engage your audience. It is like in the hook that you write in the beginning, and you try to ask your audience to think about an event with you using these tag questions. The next point. Negative tag questions are usually put after affirmative sentences and affirmative tags after negative sentences. For example, it's warm today, isn't it? Or he doesn't like me, does he? You take the auxiliary from the sentence. It is warm, isn't it? He doesn't like me, does he? Next, if the main clause has an auxiliary verb such as is, can, etc., it is repeated in the tag question. You can't play tennis this evening, can you? If the main clause has no auxiliary, the tag question is a form of the verb do. For example, they went to Australia last Christmas, didn't they? In speech, use intonation to show the meaning of the tag question. If the tag is a real question, we want to know something and are not sure of the answer, use a rising intonation. If the tag is not a real question, we already think we know the answer, use a falling intonation. For example, they went to Australia last Christmas, didn't they? In the sentence, I don't know exactly, so I'm asking for a confirmation. But if I say, they went to Australia last Christmas, didn't they? It means I already know the answer, but I'm just asking for confirmation and giving some stress in my sentence. The next one, the tag questions for I am is aren't I. So when you say, I am wrong, aren't I? But if you say, I am not wrong, am I? Next, after negative words like never, no, hardly, etc., use a positive tag question. For example, you never want to go out to clubs, do you? Because the word never is already negative. Next, after nothing, use it in tag questions. When you see thing, nothing, everything, something, remember you use it. But after nobody, somebody, everybody, everyone, use they in tag questions. For example, nobody wants to go out tonight, do they? Now the next one is pronouns, and in this case we use any, every, no, some. Point number 1, any and every can both be used to talk in general about all the members of a group. Any looks at things one at a time, while every looks at all things together. For example, don't you have anything to do? So it looks at all but one at a time. The next example, there is enough food for everyone. It means all, everyone, everybody. The next point, any can also mean it doesn't matter which one. For example, which bag should I bring? It doesn't matter. Anything is fine. The next one, nothing means not anything. For example, there's nothing we can do to change his mind. Models of speculation. Point 1, use could, may, or might to talk about present or future possibility. A, where's Jean? B, I'm not sure, but she might be in the garden. When you say not sure, then you use might. And then A says, I think there will be an election before the end of the year. Think, there will. So it is a speculation in the future. And then B says, you could be right, the possibility is quite low, but could is used because it is polite. The next point, use can to talk about more general or theoretical possibility. For example, the sea can get rough here with almost no warning. Theoretical possibility, can get rough. Next point, use must to say that you believe something is certain. For example, you haven't had anything to eat all day. You must be starving. The next one, use can't to say that you believe something is not possible. For example, they can't know many people. They've only just moved here. Alright, now you can also take a look at the unit vocabulary. Check with your dictionary the meaning of these. For example, acquaintance is someone who is not very close to you, but you can easily contact them when you need them. For example, he is my business acquaintance. You check our earlier videos or our earlier chats on the Telegram on these expressions. Next is Unit 2 reference. Review of future forms will and be going to. For plans and intentions, use will to talk about a decision made at the time of speaking, including offers and promises. So this is the immediate decision. After you get some information, and then you decide at that time. For example, I think I will go shopping after lunch, or I don't think I will have anything to eat. The next point, use be going to talk about a plan or intention in which no details have been decided. You know that you are going to do something, but you don't have the details. For example, I'm going to study law, but I'm not sure where yet. The next point, use the present continuous to talk about a future arrangement when details about time, place, person, etc. have been decided. For example, I'm meeting Sonia after my interview in the cafe. These models can also be used for predictions. Point 1. Use will to make predictions based on what you know or believe. When you use I think, I hope, I believe, but it is your personal belief. I think Ben will be the new school president. That is my personal belief. But if you hear somebody say that Ben is going to be the new school president, so will is based on your personal belief, but going to is when you hear some information, when you see an announcement, then you can use be going to. Be careful, you're going to fall off that chair if you lean back like that. Now, future continuous and future perfect. Use the future continuous to talk about something in progress at a definite time in the future. The form is will, won't plus be plus present participle. It means the ing form. For example, don't call me tonight. I will be watching the game. The next point, use the future continuous to ask about someone's plans, especially if you want something or you want them to do something. Will you be using the car on Saturday? Next point, use the future perfect to talk about something which will be completed before a definite time in the future. The form will or won't plus have plus past participle or verb 3. For example, she won't have finished her essay by Friday. The next point, the future perfect is often used with time phrases with by, for example, by that time, by this time next week, by tomorrow. If you see these kinds of phrases, then you use the future perfect. Now it is in case, or you can also say just in case. Use in case to explain why somebody did something. When talking about the past, the verb that follows in case can be simple past or past perfect. For example, we took our swimsuits in case there was a pool. So you see here past simple and then past simple again. The next one, when talking about the future, the verb that follows in case is normally in the present. Use the present, future, or a modal verb in the other clause. For example, you should insure your bicycle in case someone steals it. So this is in the present simple. After in case, then the present simple tense. Next, use just in case to add emphasis, to add stress that something is important. I'm going to apologize again just in case she's still angry with me. The next point, use just in case at the end of a sentence to talk about precautions. So this is something in general. You anticipate something in the future. You want to be ready for something in the future, but not a specific situation. For example, I'll take some extra money with me just in case. Then you can look at the unit vocabulary. Please check your dictionary and our earlier lessons. And now Unit 3 reference. Review of past forms. Point 1. The first point. Use the simple past to talk about completed actions in the past. For example, we got up early and caught the 11th o'clock train. So this is just one standalone action in the past, and I'm telling you now. Point number 2, use the past continuous to talk about actions in progress at a particular time in the past. The form is was, were plus present participle of verb ing. I was walking to work when I tripped and fell. Next, use the past perfect to talk about completed actions that happened before another action in the past. And the form is had plus past participle of verb 3. I had just finished my lunch when the doorbell rang. You can also say I'd just finished. Actually, the D, the apostrophe D there, is a short form of had. The next point, use the past perfect continuous to talk about actions or situations which continued up to the past moment being talked about. And the form is had been plus present participle of verb ing. Before they moved, they had been living in Australia. So up until that time, he had been living in Australia. The next one is articles an, the, or zero article. Use the definite article the with these. Use the definite article the in these contexts. Number 1, with inventions and species of animals. For example, the giant panda is an endangered species. Number 2, with national groups, the British, the ancient Greeks. Number 3, when there is only one of something, the sun. Number 4, with rivers, oceans, and seas, the Mediterranean Sea. Number 5, with superlatives. China is the most interesting place I have been. Number 6, with particular nouns, when it is clear what is being referred to. Can you turn off the light, please? So we are talking about the same light, that light. Can you turn it off? Number 7, with previously mentioned nouns. Would you like an apple or a banana? The banana is very ripe. Then use the indefinite article a or an with jobs, a teacher, an engineer. Number 2, with singular count nouns, mentioned for the first time or when it doesn't matter which one. I'd like an apple. And then the last one here is use no article or zero article. Number 1, with most streets, villages, towns, cities, countries, lakes, and mountains. For example, Italy, Mount Fuji. But for countries and groups of islands, mountains, in the plural, use the. For example, the Netherlands, the Philippines. Number 2, with non-count, plural, and abstract nouns used in their general sense. For example, accommodation is difficult to find. And this is the unit vocabulary. You can check with your dictionary and with a vocabulary that you're not very clear, not very sure, you can try to find sentences in the internet perhaps on how to use it in your sentence. Alright, so that is the unit reference. It's quite a bit. Then we can do some exercise after this and get ready for the midterm exam. Good luck everyone. I'll see you again in my next video.